Meanwhile, just down the road from the U.S. Congress at the National Library of Medicine, the database continues to grow. By 2004, PubMed contained 194 references to ozone therapy from major peer-reviewed medical journals around the world. More than 95% of them report improvements and benefits for AIDS, tuberculosis, hepatitis, reduction of infection and pain, and a reduction in mortality. Still, the treatment is largely unknown to American researchers.
Hello, what about ozone therapy?
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know anything about it.
Shunned by the mainstream, ozone has been pushed to the edges of medicine. Grassroots use has been spurred by books like Ed McCabe's, which have reportedly sold 250,000 copies.
I will constantly run into doctors saying, well, you know, I've got an ozone machine, but don't tell anybody. I'm doing ozone infusions, don't tell anybody. Or, well, if you're really sure about the person, tell them they can come see me, that sort of thing. Don't put me in the book. Don't put me in the book.
It's not illegal. However, you can get into trouble with your licensing boards. The licensing boards are required to make sure that the doctors they have licensed are not subjecting their patients to fraudulent or dangerous therapies. And some of the licensing boards have determined that ozone is fraudulent or dangerous.
Naturopathic associations now certify their members to use ozone, and several states and provinces have passed legislation allowing doctors to use unorthodox treatments. And a growing number of medical doctors also offer it, sometimes at risk to their license. One maverick doctor who lost his license for 5 days over ozone was the famous late diet guru Robert Atkins.
Well, I had an ozone generator, and we used it on all our AIDS patients. We used it on just about all our cancer patients, and we used it on the yeast patients, which really was the largest group. We found that our cancer protocol, which included ozone, was effective and was keeping people with so-called terminal cancer alive and without ever having to require pain medicine, without losing weight, without any sign of deterioration, because it has been very useful, extremely safe, a wide spectrum of activity, can destroy tumor, can actually allow for shrinkage of tumor without destroying the immune system, sort of enhances the immune system while it's doing its benefit against the tumor. This is true in AIDS. The FDA saw to it that our manufacturer had to take away the business end of the machine. And then when we lost our ozone machine, the patients began to go downhill. To me, there was nothing wrong with ozone. I don't think the FDA ever showed any evidence that ozone was either used improperly or that it even had a risk. It's just that the FDA...
And about 6 years ago, I became severely ill. I had fever for a year and severe arthritis. And eventually I was told that the only treatment given would be steroids, and that also possibly may not help. So really it was oxygen ozone therapy that saved my life, you could say. When I returned to England from Germany, I resolved to introduce this treatment in England. I've been using this now for 5 years. It's the main treatment in the center. I do 4,000 to 5,000 ozones every year. So it's my major work, really. And I see a variety of, or people with variety of illnesses, ranging from influenza to cancer and HIV.
Despite a growing number of ozone therapists, desperate patients continue to seek treatment outside their own country.